In this video, we'll show you how to build a hosting company website from the ground up. The website is based on WordPress and Elementor, while the reseller program is integrated into the website by means of our WordPress plugin, allowing you as a reseller of our hosting services to accept real orders and payments online. Even if you're not looking to build a hosting company website, you can use the techniques described in this video to build just about any type of website you can think of. We'll show you how to build absolutely every part of all these pages. You can sell hosting accounts, domain names, SSL certificates. There's also a live chat available so you can answer sales questions on your smartphone, even if you're on the move. Your business venture into the web hosting world starts by registering your free reseller account with us. There's nothing scary about it. We don't tie you down with any contracts, monthly payments, and other financial or legal obligations. You don't have to enter your credit card details. All that's required to register is a name and email. Now, in case you're wondering how this whole reseller hosting thing works, here's a quick explanation. Basically, visitors would go to your hosting company website, purchase an account through it. You get the money in whatever merchant account you've added, for example, PayPal, to checkout, PayDollar, or Stripe. Your order gets recorded at your online store in the account panel, store orders section, and then you would have to process it from there and pay the account to ICDsoft, but at your own discounted prices. And that's how you make profit. Note that this could be done manually by you or automatically if automatic order processing is enabled for your online store and there is an available balance in your reseller account. For example, right now, because of our 75% promotion, you can order your first new account on the economy plan for just $24 for the first year. And if you're reselling it on your site for, let's say, $96, that means your profit would be $72. Basically, you receive $96 from your end customer and then you pay ICDsoft just $24 to have the account activated. And then as per our discounts table right here, when you have 7 or more hosting accounts resold or simply claimed at your account panel, your discount on new accounts would grow to 90% and your discount on renewals of these accounts would be 50%. So you would be able to make a good profit on the renewals of your resold accounts as well. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, go to our website icdsoft.com, the partners menu, resellers. Click on the free registration button. All you need to do now is to enter the desired username, password, your full name, and email address. Simple as that. Now that you've registered, you're ready to access the account panel for the first time. Extensive information on the different menus and features can be found at the help section. Let's jump right in and create our online store. Go to the online stores menu on the left side and click management. Use the create a new store button. You can create multiple stores so you can offer hosting services on separate websites with different pricing policies for each one. On the first screen, you're prompted to enter the name of your brand, the hosted storefront address, the currency of your store, and your contact email. So we would have HectoHost as our brand, US dollars for the currency, and the contact email could be support@hectohost.com. Once you press the save button, the store will be created and you will be presented with a settings page. Let's see what needs to be configured there. First, there are two options, hosted or self-hosted. Our hosted solution allows you to have an online store with a fully functional hosting company website created for you automatically. Let's check it out. Click on the link and we'll be taken to the actual site that has been created automatically for us. At this address, https://hectohost.surebillingNetwork.com. This is a completely free solution, but it has some limitations on the design and structure of your website. You could point your actual domain name to it, so you would see it in the address bar of the browser instead of this default address. But since we're looking to have full control over our website, we would use the self-hosted option with our ICDsoft Reseller Store WordPress plugin. That's the option we'll use here. You should switch to it and skip the hosted storefront settings section. And we'll enter the URL of our WordPress website. In our case, that's https://hectohost.com. The other important bit is to note that this is the page where the authentication key and HMAC secret are displayed. You would have to copy and paste them into the settings of the WordPress plugin in order to connect it to your online store. Once you've created the store, you should review the products catalog. It shows you all the services that you can resell on your own hosting website. This includes all of our hosting plans, domain registrations, SSL certificates, and additional services. This is also where you can set custom names for the different hosting plans to distinguish your brand. The Prices tab is where you can enable or disable products for your store as well as manage their prices. For the purpose of this tutorial, we've decided we would resell the following plans: Economy, Business, Smart VPS Pro, and First Class. Thus, we disable the rest of the plans. By default, the online store is configured to use our standard prices without any discounts as base prices. The idea is that resellers with multiple hosting accounts are automatically set to make profit, as the prices they pay for an account are much lower than our standard prices because their reseller discount is automatically applied as per our discounts table. Currently, we have a 75% discount for new accounts, and that's why the prices shown under the Price You Pay column are that much lower than our standard prices. The prices are totally up to you. You can set custom prices on absolutely all hosting plans and additional services. Make sure to adjust the renewal prices as well. You can see that the first price is for the order, which is basically the price for a new account for the first year, and the second price is for the renewal. The other important bit is that you would have to adjust the price for the plan at each data center: the US data center, the European DC, or the Hong Kong DC. The easiest way to set up your prices for all of our hosting plans is with the change percentage field. Let's say that you want to make 100% profit over our base prices. So you would have to enter 100 for the change percentage field. The change amount option allows you to change all prices with a fixed amount in the units of the currency set for your store. For example, if you switch the change amount and enter 20, and your store is in US dollars, all prices would be increased with $20 at your store on top of our base prices. The next important step is to configure a payment processor for your store, and this is done at the Payment Processor tab. To accept payments online through the online store, you would need an active account with at least one of the following payment processors: PayPal, 2Checkout, ePay, Authorize.net, Stripe, PayU, or PayDollar. In this example, we've configured just one payment processor, and it's PayPal. We've labeled the checkout button Secure Checkout, so all you need to do is press the Add New button and enter the email address associated with your PayPal account. You should consider using an email address at the domain used for your hosting company website. Better yet, you could upgrade for free to a business PayPal account, as that allows you to set a company name, also known as business name, that would appear on the bank statement of your end clients. You're now ready to proceed to the Notification Settings tab. There you can enable the renewal reminders so that your end customers would receive expiration notices when their accounts are about to expire. To make sure that your renewal notices don't get filtered as spam, you should copy the SPF record, highlight it in red, and add it to your domain's DNS records. If you need help with adding that SPF record, just contact our support team for assistance. Now that your online store has been configured, our next task is to install WordPress. Obviously, you need a hosting account. If you're hosted with ICTsoft, you can easily install WordPress via the WordPress toolkit available in the online control panel of each hosting account. You could also opt to have WordPress installed directly during the order stage. In our case, we already have a hosting account open for our domain hectohost.com. But before we proceed with installing WordPress, it's a good idea to have an SSL certificate activated first. This will allow us to install WordPress directly over HTTPS/SSL, so connections to the site would be fully secure right from the start. Head over to the SSL/HTTPS section in the control panel. Let's encrypt certificates. Select the host address where WordPress would be installed, and that's www.hectohost.com, and click Enable. Another option is to cover all your subdomains with a wildcard certificate, but we can't do that because our domain name doesn't use the DNS service of the hosting account, but that of cloudflare.com. Thus, we would have to issue a separate certificate for each subdomain that we would like to secure with an SSL. That's why you can see that the wildcard option is grayed out. A wildcard certificate cannot be enabled for this host name because wildcard certificates require DNS authentication, and the DNS service for this domain is not managed by us. Now that we have an SSL for our domain, let's proceed with installing WordPress. Go to the WordPress section, Install. Enter your site title, in our case that's Hectohost. Choose the domain. The server site address can be used if the domain is not yet pointed to the server. Select the www subdomain. The path is the default one, just a slash, since we won't be installing WordPress in a subfolder. The Use www option allows you to add or remove the www prefix or subdomain from the address bar. It's really more of a personal preference. The Chrome browser hides it by default. Let's just keep that. Use HTTPS, you can see that this option is selected by default because we just had an SSL issued. The server-side caching is not really a good idea to have active while you're developing a website, so we'll disable it right now, and you can always activate it later on through the server-side caching section in the control panel. MySQL 8 is selected by default, which is great. It's better in terms of performance than MySQL 5, and the latest WordPress is fully compatible with it, so you won't have any issues with MySQL 8. Enter a username for your administrative user for the WordPress dashboard, and make sure to remember the password. Accept the license agreement and proceed with the installation. WordPress has been installed successfully. Let's check out the website that we have now. So this is just the default Hello World WordPress page, part of their new 2022 theme. But you can see that our connection to the website is fully secure right from the start, since we opted to have WordPress installed directly with the HTTPS option. Of course, you can also do that later on, and we also have a video on setting up WordPress to work over HTTPS on our channel. You can find a link to it in the description here. What's more important now is to log into the dashboard where you can administer your new WordPress installation and basically work on your website. This is where you can install themes, plugins, and modify every aspect of your site. You can see that the control panel shows the login URL, and it's the default one, which comprises of the site URL /wp-login.php. Let's go there and log in with our newly created credentials. If you don't remember the password you entered during the installation phase, you can scroll down to the WordPress Administrators section and use the password button next to your username in order to directly set a new password. Or you can log in directly via the login button. So let's log into the dashboard. And this is it. Welcome to WordPress. Our next task is to install a theme that will change the whole look of our site. Go to the Appearance menu, Themes, press the Add New button, and let's search for the Astra theme, as that's the one that we'll use. There it is, let's install it. Now activate it. Our next step is to import some demo content that we can use and modify to our needs. Under the dashboard, you can see that we're sort of greeted with this sign, "Thank you for installing Astra." Did you know that Astra comes with dozens of ready-to-use starter templates? Install starter templates plugin to get started. So you just need to press the Get Started button, but we'll do it the hard way, just to make everything clear, and for the fact that this notice might not be available in another version. So this time go to the Plugins menu, Add New, and search for Starter Templates. And this is the actual plugin we need: Starter Templates, Elementor, WordPress, and Beaver Builder Templates. Press the Install Now button. Now activate. So the plugin has been activated, and we're automatically redirected to the Plugins Installed Plugins menu. So click on the C Library link under the Starter Templates plugin. So this is the Getting Started with the Starter Templates wizard. Click on the Build Your WordPress Now button at the bottom. Select the page builder. We'll go with Elementor. And now we have to choose one of those themes. You can see that there are quite a lot, but not all of them are free. Obviously, the ones labeled as premium are paid. But as I promised, we'll use a free one. So the one that I have personally decided to go with for this project is called Tech Startup. Let's make a search for it. Tech Startup, and this is it, the first on the list. Click it. The first step is to upload your logo, but you can do it at any time later on. I've cooked up a really simplistic logo for this site, so just upload it now. Now the default colors, I'll use a different combination. I'll use this purple one right here. Again, this is totally up to you. In terms of the fonts, again, I'll use an option different from the default one. I'll go with the Poppins Lato combination. Continue. Okay, just one last step. We'll enter some details here. The important thing is to actually import everything: the customizer setting, widgets, and content. So they're just selected by default. Press the Submit and Build My Website button. Now we just have to wait for the import process to complete, and it's all done. Congratulations. And let's view our website now and see how it looks like. And you can see that it actually looks like a real website right now with a lot of content, different pages. So now we need to customize it to our specific needs. We're going to start with two really simple to implement changes that give real identity to our site. They often get overlooked by webmasters, and what I'm talking about are the site title and favicon. The way to change it with WordPress is via the dashboard, settings, general settings. There, just change the site title and tagline. Our tagline could be something like quality web hosting solutions with outstanding customer support. To change the favicon, go to Appearance, Customize, Site Identity, and just upload your site icon. I'll just crop the website logo a little bit. I haven't spent a lot of time designing a logo as it's just a demo website, but you should of course take your time and do your best to come up with a great site logo, and then you can also use it for your favicon. But before we proceed further with our customizations and designing the different pages of our site, let's install the ICDsoft Reseller Store plugin that will connect our website with the online store that we configured at the start. Head over to the Plugins menu, Add New, and make a search for ICDsoft Reseller Store. This is it. Let's install it and activate it. Now go to the ICDsoft hosting menu that was added by the reseller plugin we just installed. Settings. Since we created a reseller account in a store at the start, we'll use the I have an account option. And now you just need to connect your site to your online store by entering the key and HMAC secret for your store. To obtain them, go to your ICDsoft account panel, Online Stores Management. Click the Edit button next to your store, scroll down to the API settings, copy the key and paste it in the settings of the plugin, and we'll also copy and paste the HMAC secret. You can disable the test mode and save the changes. So now that our ICDsoft plugin is connected to the store, we can start designing our home page. Go to the Pages menu, click on the Edit with Elementor button next to the home page. So this is the default home page. It comes with the starter template with imported. It looks really nice, but obviously we need to change the text, the images, and some other settings in order to make it more suitable for our hosting company website. The way Elementor works is with sections, and you can see how our whole page is made out of different sections. For example, the header on top is one section, then below we have another one, and we can select each section and modify it. Basically, all of our text and images and buttons are contained within those sections. If you click on the navigator button right here, you can see a list of all of our different sections, and you can easily switch to a specific one by clicking on it. If you expand a given section, you would see all the different columns and elements that it contains. For example, on this second section, you can see that it contains two columns. The first one contains a heading, and the second one contains a basic gallery. The history button allows you to revert or basically undo certain changes. The responsive mode shows you how the page would look across the different devices, PC, tablet, and smartphone. And there is also the preview changes button. That should be enough for now, and you will learn more on how Elementor works as we go along. So let's get started. The first thing we want to do is remove this host section on the right side of our header. So right click on the column and press delete. And now you can see how the title expanded to cover the whole header area, which is just what we wanted. Let's change the whole background image. Click on the Edit section button at the top. You can see that we have three menus for each section: Layout, Style, and Advanced. We'll cover all three in the process of designing our pages. Click on the Style tab. Under the Background menu, you can see that we have the background type set to Classic, and you may wonder where that blue color comes from, and it comes from the Background Overlay menu. And you can see there is this image there, so let's just delete that. Click on the trash can. And now you can see that we're no longer seeing that blue part, and we can see more of our actual background image. Go back to the Background menu, and let's change the image. Here is a really useful tip. There are 3 really good websites where you can obtain copyright-free images. This is super important as otherwise you could run into copyright issues. So the 3 sites are Pixabay, which is probably the most popular one, Unsplash.com, and Pexels.com. Let's head over to Pexels.com and make a search for web design. So I like this image right here with these pencils. Free downloads. So now that we have it on our computer, go back to the home page that we opened for editing under Elementor. Switch to the upload files tab and just drag and drop the image that we just downloaded. This basically uploads it to the hosting server and into our project. Now that we've uploaded the image, click on the edit image button, and now what I want to do is I'll flip it vertically, because we'll have some buttons in blue color on the right side and we don't want them to be over a blue background as they won't be really visible. And here is another dime for you. Make sure to add the alt text and description of your images. You want to use keywords that you want to rank for, as that will improve your SEO. Of course, they should be related to your site and the actual image. So for example, in this case right here, we can enter web hosting for web designers and web agencies. And we can add that for both the alt text and description. Note that I won't be doing that for all the images that I will upload into the website in order to save me some time, but you should definitely do that on your live website. So click on the insert media button at the end, and you can see that the image is not really well positioned. So we have to correct that. Click on the position setting and change it to center. Now we can see the whole image. Also, you want to make sure that the image takes up the whole section across all devices. So change the size to cover. That's under the style background menu, and switch to the layout tab and change the content width to full width. Now let's change the text. So just click on it and you can see that we're under the edit heading menu. And under the content tab is where you can change the actual content. For example, we can have something inspirational like your dream website has found a home. That sounds nice. Let's align it to the center. Under the alignment option, click on center. And we should also change that text below. So again, just click it and we'll directly enter the new text. Let's make that text a bit bigger, and to do that, you should go to the Style tab, Typography, and there you can change the size to, let's say, 25. We should center that text as well. Go to the Style tab for that text editor and switch the alignment to center. Okay, this is shaping up nicely so far, so I'll click the Update button to save the changes. These social media icons at the bottom, I'll just remove them. So select this entire section, right-click it, and press Delete. And these buttons right here, I'll remove them as well. Hover over one of them, right-click, and select Delete. Instead of all that, I'll actually add a cool feature of our reseller hosting plugin that allows us to show a domain name search area. That's exactly what you need at the top of your hosting page to make it crystal clear what your site is all about. So switch to the Elementor widgets from the left side, and you do that by clicking on this icon right here. And these are all the different Elementor elements or widgets that you can add to your page. Drag and drop a text editor to the place where you want it to show. So I'll place it under that subheading. Normally, I'll use an HTML type of widget, but the text editor is also able to render the HTML code, but it also allows us to apply more styles. And now, in the actual text field, I'll enter the following short code: domain check. Now, if you want to sort of trigger that code, you should click somewhere else on the page or preview it. There you go. But right now you can see that the text is in different color. But the text editor widget allows us to easily change that from its style menu, where you should click on the text color. And you can see this default icon, which is super useful because it preloads all the different colors that come with our theme. And let's select theme color 6, which is actually the white color. Another thing I want to do is add some space at the top so that it's not so closely positioned to the text above. So go to the Advanced tab, unlink the padding, and set the top padding to 30. The last thing I want to do with this whole header section is add a couple of buttons beneath the domain check. So I'll drag and drop an entire inner section at the bottom. You can see that the inner section contains 2 columns, and that's where we'll place our buttons. Now let's change the label of the first button to See Plans. So click it and change its text to See Plans. And let's align it to the right. Now I want to change the color of that button to blue so that it matches the check button on the domain check that we have above. So go to the Style tab of the button. Next to the color field, click on Custom. Now click on the gear icon next to the global colors, which is the Manage Global Colors menu, where we'll add a new global color to our theme. So click on the Add Color button at the bottom, New Item 1. I'll change that label to, let's say, ICD Blue. Click on the actual color and I'll paste this color code right here, 337AB7. And that's how you add a custom color to the global colors of your theme. And that way you won't have to manually add it every time you want to use it somewhere across your website. For the second button, I'll change its text to Order Now and change its color to the blue one that we just set up. I'll also set it to link to the hosting order page, which we will create later on. Let's remove that section below with the different brands. So hover over it and press the X button. Now we'll drag and drop a heading type of element. Let's change that title to something like Choose a Plan that works for you. Let's align it to the center. Let's change its color from the Style tab. And again, we'll use the blue color we just added. So under the text color field, it's now directly available as an option under our primary colors list. Let's also increase the padding at the top. Go to the Advanced tab, expand the layout menu, unlink the padding values and enter 30 for the top padding. The next thing we want to do is add 3 different columns containing the features of our 3 main hosting plans. This tech startup theme actually has that, but it's placed on another page, so we'll just copy it over here. Note, however, this little trick doesn't seem to work with Safari, so all the Mac OS users out there, you could try with a different browser like Chrome, and that's what I'll do for this specific task. So I have the home page open for editing with Elementor under Chrome. And let's go to the site we are building. So I'll type in hectohouse.com and you can see that we're seeing the site, but we are also logged in as administrators. So if I go to the plans page and I can directly click on the edit with Elementor button on top. Now these are the 3 different columns I was referring to. Right click on the first column and select copy. Go back to our browser tab with the home page. Add a new section under the heading we added by pressing the plus button. Make it a single column structure. Hover over the newly added section, right click and press the paste button. And that's how easily I just copied over the first column. Proceed in the same way with the other 2 columns. Switch to the plans tab, right click on the second column, copy, again back to the home page and paste it into the empty column. You can see that we have 1 extra column, so I'll just delete it. Right click, delete. So now we have 3 good looking columns and we'll just have to change their text, which is super easy. You just click on the text that you want to change. For example, this one, full access. Let's change that to economy, change the price to $8 per month and so on. I'll just fast forward here because the process is really self-explanatory. And at the end, we'll link the 3 get started buttons to our order page at hosting order. Let's press the update button at the end in order to save our changes. Let's add an anchor type of element, so search for anchor. And let's drag it and drop it underneath the heading. We'll call it plans. And now we'll link the See Plans button from the header section, so when people click on it, the page will automatically scroll down to the position of our plans anchor. Click on the button and set the link to #plans. Let's click it and you can see how it rolls down. Continuing down, our next task is to change this section called Track Your Progress. First, I'll change the title to, let's say, Why Pay Extra for Email. And this heading would be World-Class Email Included. And for the actual text in that text editor field, I have my text prepared, so I'll just paste it. And these icons, I'll just change their text as well. Let's duplicate this last field and change its text. All that's left is to change the actual image. I have an image prepared. Click on the Choose Image button, upload, and insert our image. I'll align it to the left. I want to remove that blue background. Click on the Edit Column button, Style tab, and delete the background image. You can see that our image goes above and beyond our column, so let's fix that. Click on the actual image, switch to the Advanced tab, and at the Layout menu, you can see these different margins that have been set. Let's set them to 0, so I'll just link these values together, and then all you need to do is set one of them to 0, and this will translate to all of them. And now you can see that the image fits perfectly into our column. A nice little effect that I would like to apply is to round the corners of the image. Switch to the Style tab of the image, set the border type to solid, set the width to 10, change the color of the border to white, and now set the border radius to 30, which would actually round the corners. We'll proceed with applying the same changes to the section below, so I'll just fast forward again, Edit Image, Advanced, Layout, Right set to 0. What we'll do next is add a third section similar to the two above. So just click on the whole inner section, right click it and hit duplicate. And you can see it just appeared below. Let's switch the position of the text and the image. To do that, click on the column with the text and just drag it and drop it to the right side. Click on the image and align it to the left. Let's move this whole section down. So select the entire section, go to the Advanced tab and set the top and bottom margins to 200. To correct the positioning of the column with the text selected, go to the Advanced tab, copy the value from the right padding to the left one, and set the right padding to 0. Now, we just need to change the text and image, so I'll fast forward again here. Scrolling down, you can see the section with the different features. There are basically two inner sections positioned horizontally. Each section has 3 columns, and each column contains an icon box with title and description. What we want to do is just change the icons and the text. I'll show you how to do the first one, and then we'll fast forward through the rest. Click on the first icon box, Icon Library. You can see hundreds of different icons you can choose from. Let's search for a rocket, insert it. I'll change the title and the description, and you can proceed in the same way with the other icon boxes. The last part of the page is this one currently labeled as Fitness Community. We'll use it to show some important information regarding our excellent white label support service that your end clients can take advantage of free of charge without revealing ICTsoft is the actual hosting provider. I'll change the title to Support Service You Can Rely On. The link will be updated to the registration page for our ticketing system at suresupport.com. Let's update these counters, which are pretty nice by the way. The first one will show that we have technical support available 24/7. Change the ending number to 24 and the suffix could be /7. The title would be Live Support Available. The second one will show the impressive response time of our support service. Change the ending number to 15 and the suffix to minutes. The third one would say over 1 million tickets resolved. The last thing is to change the background picture. Click on the Edit section. Expand the background overlay menu and delete the image that's currently there. Style, choose image, go to the free images menu, and you can see that these are powered by Pixabay. So the Pixabay service has been directly integrated in WordPress, which is another great feature to have. Make a search for support. And this first image that comes up is actually quite fitting. So I'll press the Insert Media button. Go back to the background overlay menu. Change the color to the purple one named Theme Color 1 and set the opacity to 35. You can see how this makes the whole image appear as if it's seen through a purple lens, and this makes it more in tune with our theme colors. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but it's definitely a technique you should know. Now, the last thing we want to do is check how the page appears on different devices. About half of the traffic, if not more, is now from mobile devices, so you want to make sure your site looks great on smaller screens as well. Generally, WordPress is responsive by default, but there are still some minor tweaks that you usually have to make in order to make sure that everything is running smoothly across all screens. Click on the responsive mode at the bottom, and you can see that the page appears just fine on a computer screen. However, let's see how it loads on a smartphone. And we got some serious issues there. First, the header image doesn't take up the whole area, so to correct that, go to the Edit section, Style tab, expand the background menu, and change the size from custom to auto. We would also have to correct the position of the two buttons. Let's align them both to the center. Note that Elementor is smart enough that these modifications would not translate to the desktop version of your site. These changes are only applied to the mobile versions, the tablet and the phone. Let's scroll down and see how the rest of the page appears on a mobile. And you can see that this thin black line appears between the email and backups sections. To remove it, select the entire daily backup section, Style tab, expand the border menu, and notice how we actually have a border at the top. So just set the top border width to 0, and that's how you remove it. You can see that we need to add some space between the different columns with the hosting plans. So click on a given column, Advanced tab, and set the bottom margin to, let's say, 50. Continuing down, everything looks good except for this part right here, where both of these sections sort of overlap. To fix that, click on the image with the guy that's moving stuff, go to the Advanced tab and change the top and bottom margins to 100. The rest of the page looks just fine. If you switch to tablet, everything should look good there as well. And this is it. We have the home page completed from the top all the way to the bottom. The next page we'll design is essential for any hosting company website, and that's the page showing the different hosting plans. We'll actually use one of the existing pages that came with our tech startup theme that we imported via the Starter Templates plugin. It's quite suitable for our case. The original page is named Plans. To access it, go to the Pages, All Pages menu. Click on the Quick Edit link below it, and let's change its name to Hosting. I'll also change the slug to Hosting as well. The slug is the name of the page as it would appear in the address bar of the browser. Click Update at the end. Now click on the Edit with Elementor link. This is the actual page. Simple, affordable plan for everyone. This is just the perfect tagline for our plans page, so I'll leave it like that. I'll just delete this text below, right click on the pencil and select delete. The only other thing I want to change at the header is the amount of space there is around the title. You can see that it just takes too much space on the actual page, so I want to decrease its height a little bit. Select the entire section, go to the Advanced tab and decrease the padding on the top and bottom sides from 200 to 100. These three columns with the hosting plan details that we actually used on our homepage, I'll delete them. And I'll use one really cool feature of the ICDsoft Reseller Store plugin. So to delete them, press the X button for the entire section. The ICDsoft Reseller Store plugin has the option to generate such hosting plan tables with the use of a shortcode, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. First though, we'll add some explanation text on top. Add a new section by clicking the plus button. Click the plus sign again and select the 3-column structure. I'll just drag and drop one heading and one text editor in each column. Elements, heading, and elements, text editor. I'll do this for each column. I'll change the title of the first one to Shared Web Hosting. This title size is a bit too large for my liking, so I'll change the HTML tag to H6. And next, I'll enter some description text that I have prepared. Now I'll proceed to edit the other two columns in this exact same way. Okay, so the text is ready. I'll delete this entire section underneath and I'll add a new single column structure, and in it I'll drag and drop the tabs widget. Elements, make a search for tabs. We'll actually need 3 tabs, so let's duplicate the second one. These 3 tabs will show comparison tables of our hosting plans in each data center. That's why I'll label the first tab USA, as it will show the specs and prices of our hosting plans at the USDC. In the actual description field, I'll just paste the short code that's part of our ICTsoft Reseller Store plugin. The short code is compare plans, location equals US. You can review all the available shortcodes at the help section in the account panel. There, look under the online store section, WordPress plugin, and you can see that this shortcode shows a comparison table of the hosting plans activated at the CenturyLink US data center. You're probably wondering, why are we not actually seeing these tables, but just the shortcode? So to render the shortcode, you should preview the changes by clicking on this icon with the eye right here. And now you can see the actual tables I was talking about. A nice thing right here is that I can press the order button for a specific plan, and this will automatically redirect me to the order page, and this particular plan would be pre-selected. Let's update the other 2 tabs. The second one would be called Europe, and the shortcode for it is similar, but the location is changed to EU. And the third one would be Hong Kong, and the location would be HK. Press the update button and let's preview our changes. USA, Europe, Hong Kong. You can see just how quickly and easily we created a comparison table of our hosting plans at all 3 data centers. So that's a great feature of the ICTsoft Reseller Store plugin. One thing I like to add is some airspace below the tabs. So select the entire section, unlink the padding values, and set the top and bottom padding to 50. I'll also add some padding on top of the section with the text, so select it, unlink the values again, and set the top padding to 50. You can see that the quoted prices are annual, but there's a tendency in the hosting business to show the monthly prices as they're much lower. So if you want to do that, exit to the dashboard, go to the ICTsoft Hosting plugin, Settings, and check the option Show Monthly Price. Save the changes and let's refresh our hosting plans page. And now you can see that our tabs show the monthly prices of all the plans. Our next task is to create a page with more information about the email service that comes with our hosting, because there is a trend right now where a lot of hosting companies charge extra for the email. So we want to highlight the fact that ours is included for free. Again, we're going to modify one of the existing pages that came with our template. Go to the Pages, All Pages menu and click on the Quick Edit link under the About Us page. Let's change it to email. Make sure to also change the slug and hit update at the end. Now edit with Elementor. So this is the page we'll use. Let's change the heading to Professional Email Included. I'll also adjust the size from the Style tab, Typography. I just want to make sure it fits on 2 lines. I'll remove the text editor below and I'll add another heading instead. So right click, delete, now drag and drop a heading. Change its HTML tag to H3 to make it smaller, and it will say, get more stuff done anytime, anywhere. In line with that, I'll change this image on the right side. So I'll search Pixabay for travel images. And I'll use this image of this guy in the mountains just to show that with our email you can get work done anywhere. Let's add another effect. Click on the entire header section, Style tab, expand the background overlay menu, and change this image. I'll use an image I've prepared in advance. It's basically an icon of an email, and you can get those again from Pixabay, Canva. So this is the image, and I'll change its size to custom and set the width to 20. Change the opacity to 0.25 just to make it look more transparent. I'll now change its position to top center. I just want to make sure it doesn't cover up any of our text. Let's remove this Meet Us link. Continuing below, let's update these sections. The title could say Why Pay Extra for Email, and then this next title could be all hosting plans come with email. And I'll add some descriptive text underneath that I have prepared. For the image, I'll use a screenshot of our RoundCube login page, which is the web-based email client available for the users. So click on the image, choose image, and let's upload this one. The next section could be titled All the Important Email, No Clutter. Then the next title could be Powerful Anti-Spam Tools. I'll add a third section similar to those two, and it'll be about the free email backups that come with all of our hosting plans. Click on the plus sign to add a new section and make it a single column structure. Right-click on the first section and select Copy because we want the image to be on the left side and the text on the right. Now paste it into the empty section we just created. All we need to do now is replace the text and the image. I have an image prepared and it's basically a screenshot of the Restore tool in the control panel. The first title would be Email Backups. For the second, let's say Email Backups to the Rescue. And now I'll add some text that I have prepared. Let's delete these sections below, X on the first one and X on the second. Now normally when people scroll down your page, you want to take them somewhere. And when we're talking about an e-commerce site like that, where you sell products or services, you want to take them to an order form or an order button. So let's add a new single column structure. I'll change its background, so select the entire section, style background, and the background type, classic. We'll use one of the images that came with our theme, and this is that blue shape. I'll change the repeat setting to no repeat and the size to cover. In there, I'll drop a header and I'll change its text. Let's say our email service is great, but don't take our word for it. Change the color of the text to white from the Style tab. I'll drag and drop an intersection. In the left column, I'll drag and drop a text editor where I'll add some text. Again, change its color to white from the Style tab, text color. And finally, I'll drag and drop a button which I'll link to our hosting order page. And I'll name it Order Now. Let's change the background color of the button to white from the Style tab. And let's change the actual text color to blue. We can use that ICD blue. Let's increase the height of this whole section, so select it, Advanced tab, and set the padding everywhere to 50. Last step is to check how the page appears on different devices. Go to the responsive mode and let's see how it looks on mobile. You can see that the header definitely needs a little work. I'll decrease the size of the title, go to the typography and change the size to 38. Also, the email icon on the header, let's move it elsewhere. Select the entire section, style, background overlay, and change the position for mobile to top right. And that's about it. The page now looks good on all devices. The next page we'll design would be named Support, and it will provide more details on our excellent support service that you can use for your resold accounts at no extra cost. This is known as a white label support service, and basically your end customers would be able to contact ICDsoft support service at suresupport.com and your reseller connection would not be revealed. In other words, you won't even have to provide support for the hosting accounts that you resell, unless of course you explicitly wish to do that. ICDsoft takes care of that by default. For the support page, again, I will modify one of the existing pages that came with the starter template we imported. Go to the Pages, All Pages menu, and hit Quick Edit under the Features page. Rename it to Support. And now edit with Elementor. This is how the page looks in its original design, and we'll use some parts of it. Let's start with the header. I'll change the title to a question, let's say, Need Help? And then I'll delete this text editor below and add a button instead. The button would say Submit Ticket, and it will link to our ticketing system at suresupport.com. I'll delete this entire right column, right click, delete. You can see that this actually reduced the height of the header and the button now is glued to the bottom. To fix that, select the entire section, go to the Advanced tab and set the bottom padding to 80. You can now see we got too much airspace over the Need Help title, so select the column that contains it, switch to the Advanced tab and remove the top padding. So this sort of shrinked the entire header, but it was too large anyway. We'll change the background of the whole header, so switch to the Style tab, expand the background menu, and you can see that we're currently using this blue image. Let's delete it. I'll go to unsplash.com and make a search for, let's say, safety swimming. And I'll download this image with a lifesaver right here. Even if you download an absurdly large image like the original one right here, the latest version of WordPress is now smart enough to resize it and compress it a little bit so people on slower connections can still load your site quite quickly. Now let's upload it. Go back to your support page, background, choose image, drag and drop the image we just downloaded. Change the position to center and set the size to default. Scroll down, I'll change this title and I'll delete the text editor below. The padding is a bit too much, select the entire section, advanced, set the top padding to 100. These icons right here, we'll use 4 of them, so delete the third column on both rows. Click on the first element and you can see that this is actually an icon box. Change the icon position to the left and you can see that the title and the text are right next to the icon. I'll quickly do this for all 4 icons and change their texts. Okay, so this section is ready. Next, I'll delete those sections below. I'll copy over the support section from the home page and I'll show you a really cool trick on how to do that in the fastest possible way. Fire up the Elementor Finder using Command plus E combo on Mac or Control plus E on PC. Make a search for the home page and open it for editing. Select the entire section about the support page. So right click, copy. Now bring back the Elementor Finder and make a search for the support page we were on. And directly paste what you have in your clipboard. So there you go. If you want to switch things a little bit, let's quickly change the background image. Since it's about a support team that's always willing to go the extra mile, I'll add an image of a sprinter or a running track. Expand the background menu, choose image, switch to the free images menu and type in sprinter. Now this running track image looks really nice, so that's the one I'll try with. Okay, looks good. Add the overlay, set the opacity to 0.50. Let's add an FAQ section. This time click on the Add Template button represented by this folder. Switch to the Blocks tab and change the category to FAQ. I'll insert the first one. Next, I'll just change the text. Select the entire area and you can see that this is an Elementor toggle item and each item represents a different question with the respective answer. So you just need to expand each one and change the text accordingly. I'll fast forward here. To change the color of the toggle items, go to the Style tab, change the border color to white, expand the title menu and change the active color to the purple one with our theme. Or you can leave it white. It's totally up to you. To change the color of the arrow, expand the icon menu and change the active color. To make the transition between the image above and this FAQ section smoother, select the entire FAQ section, Style tab, background overlay, change the color to the purple theme color 1 and set the opacity to 20 something, let's say 24. Okay, so the support page is just about ready. Let's just see how it appears on mobile. Click on the responsive mode, switch to the phone. I always start with the mobile screen as a guideline because When you do it there, it usually translates across quite well, and the tablet would be okay as well. And you can see that the header image looks totally off. Select the entire section by clicking on it, go to the Style tab, Background, and change the position to top right. And change the size to cover. Also, expand the background overlay menu and reduce the width. First, set it in pixels and poke around with it. Basically, I don't want it to cover up the safety belt all that much. If you scroll down, all the other parts of the page should look okay. The next page we'll design is the SSL page. It will be a page that would highlight the fact that all hosting accounts with ICTsoft come with free SSL certificates from Let's Encrypt, but there's also the option to purchase commercial certificates. We'll explain more about the differences, and there will be an order form that will allow you to resell SSL certificates through your online store, so that's another item that you can make profit from. We'll have to go back to our WordPress dashboard, Pages. This time we'll have to set up a new page for this task, so click on Add New. I'll name the page SSL, press the Publish button. Now click on Edit with Elementor. So this time we're starting with a blank page, whereas previously we were editing an existing one that was imported with our template. This makes the task a bit different, but it's not difficult by any means. The first thing we want to do is set up the header of our page, so click on the plus button to add a new section, which would be a single column structure. Now let's set up a background image for it. Switch to the Style tab, Background type Classic. Click on the Choose Image button. Switch to the Free Images tab, so we'll choose a copyright-free image from Pixabay. Since SSL certificates are all about security, I'll make a search for Vault. Let's see what comes up. The first one looks perfect for our header image, so click it. You can see that the image is really narrow, and we definitely want to increase its height as we can barely see it right now. Switch to the Layout tab, change the content width from boxed to full width, and you can see that what this actually does is increase the width of the intersection, and that's where we would add our different elements. So now we'll be able to position them across the entire length of this section. Now change the height setting to minimum height. You can see that the default minimum height is 400 pixels, which is just fine for us. The image though is getting repeated, so let's fix that. Switch to the Style tab and change the size to cover. I'll also change the position to center. Press the update button to save our changes thus far. One major issue we can see is that our navigation menu on top is not transparent as it is on all of our other pages. It has a white background and it just doesn't match our design. So how do we fix that? This is really important to know whenever you're making pages from scratch with Elementor. Exit out of Elementor by clicking on the hamburger menu at the upper left corner. Click on Exit the Dashboard. Click on the WordPress icon to navigate to our Pages menu. Go to Appearance, Astra Options. So this setting is under the options of our Astra theme. There, click on the Header Builder. This will take us to the menu where we can customize our header. Click on the Transparent Header menu. Now activate the option that says Enable on Complete Website. Click the Publish button to save our changes. Exit out of the header customizer by pressing the X button. Let's go back to our SSL page to see if that fixed our menu. Pages, all pages. Under the SSL page, click on Edit with Elementor. And yes, we're no longer seeing that white menu on top. Let's just preview the page to make sure the menu will actually show up. You can see that it's right there, so we can proceed with the other parts of our SSL page. Let's drag and drop a heading element. Change its text to SSL certificates. Align it to the center. Go to the Style tab and change its color to white. I'll drag and drop another heading below. I'll make it smaller by changing the HTML tag to H6. Set the text to Secure your website with a personal SSL certificate issued for your domain. Again, align it to the center and change its color to white. Now drag and drop an intersection element. We'll add a button in each column, so drag and drop a button in the first one, change its label to free SSL, and it will actually link to an anchor that we'll place below for another section that will contain information about the free SSL certificates that come with each hosting account. So I'll set the link to #free and align it to the center. Drag and drop another button in the second column, change its text to commercial SSL, and this will also link to an anchor that will contain an order form for people who want to purchase a commercial certificate. I'll set the link to #commercial. Okay, so we're ready with the header, and now we can add a new section below. Click on the plus button and add a 3-column structure. I'll drag and drop an icon box in each column, and they'll contain information about the benefits of having an SSL certificate. Let's add some space between those two sections, so select the newly added one, go to the Advanced tab, and set the top and bottom margins to 50. Click on the first icon box to edit it. I'll set the title to Stronger Security, and I'll paste some description text that I have prepared in advance. I'll quickly change the title and description of the other 2 icon boxes as well. What's left is to change the actual icons. Click on the first icon box, Content tab, click on the icon library, and I'll make a search for Shield. And that's the one I'll insert. Let's make it purple so that it matches the color scheme of our theme. Go to the Style tab, Icon menu, Primary color, and set it to Theme Color 1. Click on the second icon box, Icon library, search for Sort. Again, change the color to the purple one from the Style tab. For the third icon, click the Icon library and make a search for User Lock. Insert it, go to the Style tab, and change the primary color to Theme Color 1. This section is ready, and I'll add another one below. Click on the plus sign and add a 2-column structure. In the first column, I'll drag and drop a heading element. I'll set its size to H4 and change its title to Free SSL Certificates with every hosting account. Now drag and drop a text editor underneath, and I'll just add some explanation text there, which of course I've already prepared. In the right column, I'll add an image, which would be a screenshot of the SSL interface in the control panel. Drag and drop an image element, choose image. I have that screenshot ready as well, so I'll switch to the Upload Files tab and just upload it. Again, just a reminder, make sure to set the alt text and description for all your images, and they should include different keywords you want to rank for. This is really important for your SEO. For example, here I can say hosting with free SSL, insert media. I want to align it vertically at the center of the column, so select the entire column and change the vertical line to middle. Also, I want to round these corners, so select the image, Style tab, set the border type to solid, the width can be 5 and the color of the border should be white, and the border radius could be 10. If you want to give visitors the option to click on the image and see it pop up in its full size, under the Content tab, change the link to Media File. What's left with this section is to drag and drop an anchor. I'll drop it over the heading and I'll label it free so that it works with the free SSL button at the header. If you click the button now, you should see how it scrolls down to that section. So I want to separate these two sections a little bit more, and I'll select the second one, go to the Advanced tab and set the top and bottom margins to 100. Also, I'll change the background color to white to have more contrast and make that section stand out as a completely separate one. Switch to the Style tab, Background, Classic, and change the color to white. Next, I want to add an FAQ section. Click on the Add Template button, the one with the folder icon. Switch to the Blocks tab, change the category to FAQ. I'll add this one. We need to update the text of each item, which are called toggles. So I'll quickly change their title and description with some question and answer pairs that I have prepared. Okay, so we're ready with that. Now I just want to decrease that airspace on top. So select the entire FAQ section, Advanced tab, and set the top padding to 0. The last section we'll have on our SSL page is an order form for SSL certificates that will be generated by our ICD Soft Reseller Store plugin. Click on the plus sign to add a new single column structure. Now this time drag and drop a heading element, set its text to order a commercial SSL, align it to the center. Now let's drag and drop an HTML widget, and in it we'll place a short code by the ICDsoft Reseller Store plugin that would generate an SSL order form. The short code is called certificates. Again, if you want to see the actual form, you should preview the page. There it is. You can order 4 different types of SSL certificates, and you can regulate the prices from the online stores menu in the account panel. I want to make this section stand out a little bit more, so let's change this background color from the Style tab, expand the background overlay menu, set the type to classic, set the color to theme color 2, and I'll also set the opacity to 0.20. So this is a lighter form of that purple color. Lastly, I want to have some separation at the top, so go to the Advanced tab and set the padding everywhere to 50. Also, go to the Layout menu for the entire section and set the content width to full width. And that way the order form would take up the entire area, and that's good because it's quite large and we want to make sure it's fully visible. The last thing we want to do is add an anchor widget that will link the commercial SSL button at the header. So drag and drop a menu anchor at the top and change its ID to commercial. To test it, scroll up and click on the commercial SSL button. And you can see that it takes us all the way down to the order form. Click the update button to save the changes, and let's preview our finished page. This is it. The page looks good, and we just want to make sure it looks good on all devices as well. So go back to the Elementor interface, responsive mode, and you can see that it actually looks just fine on all screen sizes without us having to make any adjustments at all. We're getting closer and closer to having the website fully ready, and the last page we have to set up is the hosting order page, where visitors will be able to make their purchase. Again, we would have to start from scratch with a blank page, go to the WordPress dashboard, Pages, Add New. We're going to call this page Hosting Order. You can see the URL slug, hosting-order, so that's okay. Let's publish it directly. And now edit with Elementor. You can see that the menu appears on top, but this time it's transparent as we corrected that setting as part of setting up the SSL page. As soon as we add a new section on top, it will automatically go over the menu. Click the plus sign and add a single column structure. We'll set up a background image for our headers, so switch to the Style tab, Background, set the type to Classic, choose Image, and select this image that was imported as part of our theme. And so you can find it all the way down at the bottom. Insert media, change its size to contain, and disable the repeat setting. So we're basically setting the repeat to no repeat. Now we need to add another image, expand the background overlay menu, set the background type to classic, choose image, and again we're gonna use an image that came with our starter templates theme, and is that orange shape. Insert media, again change the repeat setting to no repeat, set the size to contain, set the position to bottom right, change the opacity to 1 as we don't want the image to be transparent at all. As you can see, we have that middle section that doesn't have any background set. To change that, expand the background menu again and change the color to the purple one that's labeled theme color 2. So now we have a header with a nice background, and what we need to do is add our text, drag and drop a heading, change its title to Get Your Hosting Account Now. Go to the Style tab and change the text color to white. Drop another heading below. Change its text to Fast and Reliable Hosting with Outstanding Customer Support. I'll change its size to H6. I want to increase the height of this whole header section, so select it, go to the Advanced tab and set the top and bottom padding to 50. Make sure to unlink the values first. Also, select the column that contains our header, go to the Advanced tab, and set the padding all over to 50. The only thing we have to do now is add the order form, and with the ICDsoft Reseller Store plugin for WordPress, this is as easy as placing a short code. So drag and drop an HTML widget, and in it, just type in hosting order. Notice how I didn't even bother to create a new section as that did it automatically. I just want to have more separation between the header and the order form, so select the section with the HTML shortcode, go to the Advanced tab and set the top padding to 30. Press the update button and let's preview our page. And you can see that we have our order form and it's fully working. It's connected to the online store we configured in our ICTsoft account panel. So users can register a new domain with their hosting account or use their existing one. Then they can select their hosting plan, submit their personal information, and finally make the payment via PayPal, as that's the one payment processor we have configured for our store. So we've created all of the website pages, but you can see that not all of them appear on the main menu. And we have a download app button that has nothing to do with our project. So our next job is to work on our website menu. The way you do that with WordPress is sort of universal regardless of the theme you're using. Go to the WordPress dashboard, Appearance, Menus. You can see that by default we're starting to edit a menu called Company, and it contains pages like Careers, News and Press, Investor Relation. So that menu has nothing to do with our project, and it was created as part of the demo content we imported with our team. And I'll directly go ahead and delete it. Press the delete menu link at the bottom. You can see that we also have a support menu. Select it and delete it as well. Now we're finally left with our primary menu, which is in fact the menu that loads across our entire site. And you can see that it doesn't actually contain all of the pages that we created. So now we have to add them. One page that's missing is the SSL page. Select it from the left side and click on Add to Menu. Now I just want to rearrange these menu items a little bit, and the way you do that is really simple. You just drag and drop each item at the position you want it to appear. I want the hosting page to be second, and I want the support page to be last. Notice how if you place it slightly to the right side, it makes it a sub-menu of the menu above. So we're ready with our menu. Press the Save Menu button, and let's check out our website. Refresh the page and you can see all of our pages. The home page is first, then it's the hosting page followed by email, SSL and support. However, you can see that this download app button was not on our primary menu, so how do we update it? This button is actually part of our theme, so to update it, go to the WordPress dashboard, Appearance, Astro Options. There, click on the header builder and this will load the WordPress customizer. You can see that our website header has three elements: the site title and logo, the primary menu, and this button. So that's actually the button we're looking to modify. Click it and change the text to order. You can see how it changes live. We'll link it to the hosting order page. You can see that when you hover over the button, it turns black, and I don't really like that. So switch to the design tab and change the background color for the hover to something else. I'll use this purple color that's a bit darker. Click the publish button to save our changes. Go back to the live website. You can see that the button is now called order, and if we click it, it takes us to our hosting order page. So our header looks good, but if we scroll down all the way to the bottom of our website, you would notice that our footer needs some work. Go back to the WordPress dashboard, Appearance, Astro Options, click on the footer builder. And you can see how the footer is configured. We have different rows with columns, and in these columns we have widgets. Click on widget number 1. You can see that it actually contains an address, but I don't want that. So click on the entire block, then the ellipse menu, and click on Remove Legacy Widget. Now I want to replace that logo image with our logo, and I will upload my logo but in black. Click on the Add to Widget. I'll also change its size to medium, and I'll link it to our home page. Click on the second widget, and you can see that it contains a navigation menu. Expand it. Select the primary menu so that it loads our main menu. Delete the title and press publish. Let's see how our footer looks thus far. Reload our page. Okay, we're making good progress here. Add the third widget right here. I want to have social media icons. Expand the navigation menu and delete it. Now click on the Add Block button and search for social icons. Click the plus to add the different social icons. Let's say Facebook. Hit the plus sign, Twitter, and we can have Instagram as well. Obviously, this is totally up to you. You can have as many as you want. Of course, once you add those icons, you would have to link them to your actual social media profiles. Let's reload our page now and check our footer. This copyright information, I want to change it a little bit. So this widget number 4 is the one that contains the newsletter sign up form that I want to remove. Click the X next to it in order to delete it. I want to make this entire row with a single column so there's more space for our copyright info. Click on the gear icon and change the column number from 2 to 1. You can see how the copyright widget got moved to the center of the row. I'll click on it. I'll remove that powered by string and I'll add a text that I have already prepared. Press the publish button and let's review our changes. Okay, so we got a nice footer, and with that, the design of our entire website is now complete. The last thing that I promised you guys we would have is a live chat, and that way visitors can quickly get in touch with you, because usually when people are looking to buy a hosting service, they have a lot of questions, so it'd be really beneficial to your business if you can answer those questions. There are different WordPress plugins for this job, but the one that I'll add is called Smart Sub. To install it, go to the plugins, add new menu, search for Smart Sub, install now, activate. Now we need to configure it. Click on the Smart Sub menu that just appeared on the left, and you have the option to create a free account. And this is it, as simple as that. We have a live chat running on the website. For you to answer the visitors' questions, you would have to press that chat with visitors button, which will take you to the Smart Sub website, where you would have to log in with the account you created. You can go through this wizard to configure the name that will appear for your visitors, the welcome message. You can set that up later. If we reload the website now, we should be able to see the live chat. There it is. So this is absolutely it. We built a good looking and fully functional hosting company website. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for the next one. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.